What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Celio's Network. Today we are looking at some budget decks for the Pokemon trading card game. Now, something about my channel I want to make clear: when I talk about budget decks here, I am typically only going to include decks that are both tournament ready and on a budget. I'm sure you can find other channels that will show you budget decks that are 5, 10, $15 to build, but they aren't something that anybody would take to a competitive tournament and expect to have success with. In this video, we'll look at decks that are in a range between $30 and $50 to build from scratch, that are competitively viable. Before we get into that, though, shout out to my sponsors. You can find links for all of it in the description down below, and coupon codes as well for PTCGO codes on PoTown, regular Pokemon TCG cards on Card Trooper, and then check out PokemonCard.io for deck lists, Beast Coast Pokemon for more Pokemon content, and Dragon Shield sleeves. You can use my affiliate link to support this channel when purchasing sleeves. Also, be sure to subscribe to this channel for daily Pokemon TCG content. So like I said, we're going to look at some budget decks today, and I'll also explain how the decks are played. The first one we're going to look at is Blissey. This was piloted to a top 64 finish by Greg Carrion in Peoria, and there were over 1,000 players at Peoria Regional Championships. Also, the website we're using for this is limitlesstcg.com. I just have the screen zoomed in so we can really see all of the cards better. So, we're starting out with Blissey V here. Blissey V is a 250 HP Pokemon, colorless type with fighting weakness. Blissey V is going to be essentially the main Pokemon of this deck, but Miltank is also pretty substantial as well. Blissey V, for 4 of them, is only going to cost you $6, so they're super duper cheap. You'll see the most expensive card in this deck is probably going to be the 4 Blisseys for $6. So if you already have like a Radiant Greninja, that brings the price down $4. If you have 4 Blisseys, that brings the price down $6. If you have 1 Scoop Up Net, that brings the price down almost $5. So this is super duper budget, and if you have any of the cards already to fill in, the price comes down substantially for some of the cards. Blissey V is going to be your main attacker with the Blissful Blast attack. For a colorless, it does 10 damage plus 30 more for each energy attached to this Pokemon. And if you did damage in this way, you can attach up to 3 energy cards from your discard pile to this Pokemon. And those can be special energies. So we're going to be playing only special energies in this deck. The powerful colorless energy provides colorless, but then your colorless Pokemon do 20 more damage. So if you have 4 powerful colorless energies attached to Blissey, it's going to be doing 80 extra damage with its attacks. We also have double turbo, which count as 2 energy at a time, but your attacks do 20 less. That's okay, because for Blissey, that's going to be a plus 30 and plus 30 because it counts as 2 energy attached, and then minus 20. So essentially the double turbo gives you a plus 40, whereas something like capture energy or a lucky energy would give you just the typical plus 30 for having that extra energy attached. And powerful colorless actually gives you plus 50 because you do 30 more for each energy attached. And then powerful colorless says your colorless Pokemon do 20 more damage with their attacks. Miltank is your other attacker, essentially. Miltank has 110 HP, so it's a lot squishier than Blissey V, but it has the Miracle Body ability, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon V. Now, that includes V-Star and V-Max and V-Union, and there is a lot of V Pokemon around. They are the strongest kind of card in our standard format right now. And then Miltank's Route does 10 plus 20 more for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. There will be decks that cannot attack Miltank. You will come up against decks like Arceus Goodra, or Hisuian Zoroark VSTAR, or Arceus Bibarel decks that just do not have any way to damage or affect or knock out this Miltank because of its Miracle Body ability. And that's why Miltank is so good. And then we have a bunch of healing for our Blissey and for our Miltank in case they have something small that can chip away at Miltank but not knock it out in one shot. And then Blissey V is going to be pretty hard to one-shot knock out. Oh, excuse me. So we have two Charon's Cares that can just pick up a colorless Pokemon that has damage and put it into our hand. We also have 4 Hyper Potion, which heals 120 damage, but then you have to discard 2 energy from the Pokemon, and you could pay for that with Double Turbo. So you could just attach a Double Turbo to Blissey, Hyper Potion, heal 120, discard the Double Turbo, and then just attach it back with the Blissful Blast attack. We also have 2 Team Yell Towels, heal 50 damage from both active Pokemon. A lot of times this 50 damage won't matter for your opponent's Pokemon, but it could matter for your Miltank or for your Blissey. So yeah, this is a super solid deck for less than 40 bucks in US dollars. And if you're looking for budget decks to build on PTCGO, typically the dollar amount is also going to mean that it's going to cost a lower amount of codes online to build this deck. And if you are looking for building decks on PTCGO, the easiest way to do it is buy some code cards on a site like potownstore.com and use code Celio for 5% off. Scan them into PTCGO and then go on the trades and trade for the specific cards you need. You can also use tcgpark.com/prices, I believe is the site. Let's just confirm that real quick. tcgpark.com/PTCGO prices, and it'll tell you how much you should be trading per each card. So for example, if we just go search Blissey here, it'll show you Blissey V full arts are about five packs at the low, and then the regulars are like 7 packs. So Blissey has actually gone up because it's been extra viable right now. And then you'll see the Miltanks are like less than a pack each to trade for. So moving on from Blissey Miltank, we'll go on to Regigigas. Regigigas, this placed 9th, 18th, 21st. This exact listed, piloted by 3 great players, Kid, Grant, and Azul. So Regigigas is going to cost around $45 for all 60 cards. Now, this deck is built around Regigigas' Ancient Wisdom ability. Once during your turn, if you have Regirock, Regice, Registeel, Regieleki, and Regidrago in play, you may attach up to 3 energy cards from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. Yeah. Coincidentally, just like Blissey, we're only going to be playing special energies, which is very cool. You get to play a lot of different special energies in this deck because this says attach up to 3 energy cards, so you can attach special energies. And every Regi in the deck can be used to attack. We're playing 4 Aurora energies, which count as any kind of energy, but you have to discard a card from your hand when you play this down. Capture energy, when you attach it, you get to search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it on your bench. Gift energies, when this Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack, you get to draw until you have 7 cards in hand. Do note this is currently bugged on PTCGO, but hopefully they'll fix it soon, and gift energy should definitely be played in Regigigas decks. 2 Twin Energy, which count as 2 colorless energy when attached to a non-V or non-GX Pokemon, which is all of our Pokemon in this deck. And then 2 Speed Lightning Energies. It provides lightning no matter what it's attached to, but if you attach it to a lightning Pokemon from your hand, you get to draw 2 cards. So Regigigas is going to use its Ancient Wisdom ability to attach whatever kind of energies from your discard pile it needs to. So Regigigas itself has the Gigaton Break, which does 300 damage if the defending Pokemon's a VMAX, and with a Choice Belt, that's going to knock out all of the relevant VMAXs. Regice, which attacks for 100, and if the defending Pokemon is a Pokemon V, it can't attack next turn. Regirock, which does 140 for fighting type weakness, so this is good against Arceus V-Star. Regidrago, mostly here for its ability Dragon's Horde. Once during your turn, if it's in the active, you get to draw cards until you have 4 in your hand. But with Giant Fangs, you can still swing for 160 or 190 with a Choice Belt. Regieleki, which is used for its Terra Spark attack, discard all lightning from this Pokemon, and it also does 40 damage to 2 of your opponent's benched Pokemon. And finally, Registeel, which can do 220, but 50 less for each colorless, for each retreat cost in your opponent's active Pokemon's retreat cost. Using some pretty general trainers in the deck, we've got Professor's Research to draw cards, Marnie both to draw cards and disrupt the opponent's hand at the same time. boss's orders to pick what we are attacking into, some item cards to keep us going, Ultra Ball, Quick Ball, we gotta search for our Pokemon, Trek and Shoes to look for more cards, Hisuian Heavy Ball to get Regis out of the prize cards, and Path to the Peak to shut down things like Empoleon V and Duraludon VMAX, which would be hard for our deck to deal with otherwise. Finally, we are looking at Hisuian Zoroark. This is going to cost about $50 to build from scratch, and this exact list got top 8 at Peoria Regionals. And something cool about this was Osvaldo's first regional championship, and he got top 8. So something else I should mention, none of these decks are horribly complicated to play. You will definitely play them better as you get better, but none of them are going to be too difficult to play off the bat. I'd say Blissey is the easiest out of them. Hisuian Zoroark is the second easiest to play, and then Regigigas is going to be the hardest to play out of the 3 decks we looked at today. Hisuian Zoroark VSTAR has 270 HP, and it has the Ticking Curse attack. It does 50 damage for each of your Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. So if all 6 of your Pokemon has at least 1 damage counter on it, this will do 300 damage. Minus 20, of course, because the only energy we will be attacking with is the double turbo energy, and that reduces the damage we do by 20 in turn for providing 2 colorless energies. This deck plays a DNC because it has the Princess's Curtain ability as long as his Pokemon is in the active. Whenever your opponent plays a supporter card from their hand, prevent all effects of that card done to your benched basic Pokemon. So Hisuian Zoroark V has a free attack, Avoid Return, which you can use for 0 energy cost. It does 30, and then you switch it with one of your benched Pokemon. So if you go second, you can use this attack to switch into DNC and protect your Hisuian Zoroark V from boss's orders next turn. Gengar is a very cool card in this deck. It has the ability Netherworld Gate. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in your discard pile, you may put it onto your bench and then put 3 damage on this Pokemon. So we don't play Gengar, we don't play Haunter, because Gengar is going... I'm sorry, we don't play Ghastly or Haunter, we just play Gengar, because we're going to discard this with Ultra Ball, Quick Ball, or Professor's Research, and then put it onto our bench with its ability. We also have something in this deck that's very important, Damage Pump. You get to move up to 2 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to your other Pokemon in any way you like. So after you put a Gengar on the bench, you can move 2 of its damage counters and put 1 on a Pokemon without damage and 1 on another Pokemon without damage to increase your Zoroark's damage output. And the V-Star power for this deck is going to be Zoroark's ability, Phantom Star. During your turn, you may discard your hand and draw 7 cards. You can't use more than 1 V-Star power per game. So those are our budget decks for today. I'll leave links to them in the description down below, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for daily Pokemon TCG content, and let me know what kind of content you want to see in the future and how I could improve videos like this one. I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.